Now let's say I'm satisfied with the game and I wanted to publish it so that other people can play it. I come down here and I press the publish button. You can only publish it if the light is blue over here. And it'll say your game has been published. So if you go back to the workshop, you'll see that it's no longer a draft game, but it is a published game. You can always go back to edit it if you want. Now if we come back to edit it, if we change, here's a really important point. If you change anything on the canvas at all, like say I want to move the block, you'll notice that the publish button went from blue back to red. And when it goes back to red, it means you cannot publish this, because GameStar Mechanic requires you to show them that you can beat these levels, that your game is actually winnable, so that you can publish them in the game alley. But if you change anything at all, then the button will turn back to red, and you'll have to show the GameStar Mechanic again that you can beat the game. Now that you see it turn back to blue. So it's always important to remember to make sure that you play you make a game that is actually beatable. Otherwise, you won't be able to publish it. So the last most important thing about how to create a game with GameStar Mechanic is that this edit settings button over here. You can go to it and you can control a lot of the intricate settings within the game and use it to even change the gameplay as well. So for example, over here they provide you a generic message for your level names and your introduction message, or you can type in your own name. You can also go down here to change up the gameplay a little bit using these settings over here. For example, if you want to make your screen bigger, you can create multi-screens. Each screen is worth 16 squares, so 3 screens would be 48 squares. And making your game bigger will make it a lot more interesting, because it gives you a lot more space to explore and much more room to play around in. You can also give it some gravity, which is a really nice, really fun attribute. You can also unbound the edges so that they can travel around for example, if they go into the left side, they can come out the right side. And to top it off, I'll add a nice background onto it also. Now for the game settings over here, I have my game name, which is Peter's Game, and I also change up the message too. You can also add some goals and rules here too. And finally, we have a nice button over here called a new level, which means that we can add more and more levels to the game. It's all the same concept. You just go into the level, you can change around the settings, add some sprites to it, design the level. But an important thing to remember is that when you create new levels, you have to beat those levels as well before you can publish them, because GameStar Mechanic needs to know that you can beat the entire game, not just only one level. It's always important to remember to save your settings too. And now, since we're in level 2, we have nothing over here yet, so I'll go back to level 1 to see how the changes were made. And you see over here, if I tap the up button once, gravity takes effect and it'll pull me down. And now, since we have a multi-screen as well, the screen will move with it. Some final last tips I should give you is that it's always really important to save your game every once in a while, especially your drafts, because they can take a lot of work, and if you don't save them, you could lose a lot of valuable time and a lot of effort put into making your game. So it's always important to remember to save it in increments and even design your game in iterations too. But other than that, that's basically how to create a game in GameStar Mechanic in a nutshell. So thank you for watching, and good luck with the rest of your internship. Bye bye.